And I thought the NFL had no idea what it was doing when it came to primetime games and possible outs if the game is bad when it was coming to week 11. And then I looked at week 15, and somehow it's a million times worse. Seriously, what the heck were they doing here? Welcome, everybody, to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Garrett, 9 representing the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking about the NFL schedule as we have been doing all day on this channel. We have videos every hour on the hour, or trying to have videos every hour on the hour at least. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a moment of the action when we do post a video, because there is a lot to talk about and a lot to dissect with this schedule, as you can probably imagine. A lot of information here. And one of the weeks on the schedule is week 15, the fourth to last week of the season. ESPN, ABC, they are doing one of their signature doubleheaders where they air two games at the same time. They're doing Falcons-Raiders on ESPN, and they're doing Bears-Vikings on ABC. Now, those are some bowl games to bank on. All four teams missed the playoffs last year. They finished below 500. Now, Bears-Vikings, there is the divisional rivalry aspect of it. There's no real rivalry between the Falcons and the Raiders. I guess you could say it's the Jeff George game. I guess. There's not really anything there. But the Bears are projected to be good this year. Falcons are projected to be good this year. The Vikings, though, not so much. 6.5 wins is the over-under. And the Raiders are also at 6.5 wins. And again, Vegas over-unders are not the end-all be-all. Preseason projections, not the end-all be-all. We saw what happened in 2023. Houston Texans were garbage in 2022. No one thought they'd be any good, and then they win the division, make the playoffs, make the divisional round, and now they're one of the best teams in football, and they've got a lot of primetime games this year, and rightfully and deservedly so. So things can change, but it is weird banking on some of those teams that late in the season, because the odds that they get flexed out and they're not good games are way higher than if you put two teams that were good in 2023 on there. But that's why flex scheduling is a thing. Flex scheduling is a thing so that if a game is bad, if there is a matchup that is unappealing, you don't have to stick with it and you can put it on a better game. How flex scheduling works is that CBS gets one protection, Fox gets one protection, and then after that, it's the Wild Wild West, and the networks can decide what game they want on there. So they might not be able to poach the number one game that CBS has, but they could poach the number two game. The problem is that the system is broken and it's fundamentally flawed, not in terms of the concept of the schedule, but in terms of how it's executed. Because if they knew what they were doing, this would not be an issue in Week 15. Week 15, there is a massive flaw in the schedule that no one stopped to think about for more than 5 seconds, basically allowing CBS, instead of having one protection, to protect their entire freaking schedule. Seriously. They might be stuck with Falcons, Raiders, and Bears, Vikings because CBS protected their entire schedule. So CBS gets one protection as it is. That's going to be Bills, Lions. We all know that. That's the 425 game. That's a very, very good game on paper. Josh Allen against Jared Goff. Two teams that made it into the playoffs last year as division champions. Bills made it to the divisional round. Lions made it to the NFC Championship. Two teams that I think a lot of people want to watch this year. That'll be a fun game on paper. That's your 425 game on CBS. And obviously, they're going to protect that. No issues with that whatsoever. But then you have Chiefs-Browns at 1 o'clock. And you have Dolphins-Texans at 1 o'clock. Two games that on paper are very, very good games. All four teams made the playoffs last year. Those could be fun matchups, especially as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Maybe possible playoff previews with those four teams. So, okay, you could flex one of those games into Monday night. No harm, no foul whatsoever. Well, you can't. Chiefs-Browns, good game on paper. You can't flex it in. You want to know why? Because the Chiefs play Saturday in Week 16, and then they play on Wednesday in Week 17, playing on Christmas. There's already some concern about player safety with 3 games in 12 days. If you do Sunday, Sunday, Thursday, that's already an issue brought up by the players and the NFLPA. 3 games in 10 days? Going Monday to Saturday to Wednesday? That's not going to happen. The Chiefs are not playing the Browns on the road on Monday Night Football that week, then flying back to KC, not landing till Tuesday morning, then not getting any time off because they have to play on a Saturday in Week 16, and then they have 3 days of rest before they play again in Week 17. That is not happening. So CBS does not need to protect Chiefs-Browns, even though that game, ESPN ABC would probably want that one if one of those two games is terrible, because they won't put the Chiefs on Monday Night Football if they have to play Saturday and Wednesday. Dolphins-Texans, though, that's a pretty good game as well. But guess what? You can't do that for the same exact reason. Because the Houston Texans, if you play them on Monday, they're then playing Saturday in Week 16, and then they're playing on Christmas Day on Wednesday in Week 17. So it would also be impossible, just like it was for Chiefs-Browns, to do Dolphins-Texans. So you can't put that game on Monday Night Football. CBS does not have to protect that game. So even though the rule is designed where CBS gets one protection, they essentially get two extra protections with Chiefs-Browns and Dolphins-Texans. And they also get another protection because Ravens-Giants is also on CBS that week. So all four teams that play Saturday and Wednesday, Saturday Week 16, Wednesday Week 17, all four teams, they're all playing on CBS. So CBS gets to protect that game. Now, granted, the Giants are probably not going to be that good this year. Ravens are projected to be pretty good this year. But if the Giants are a good team, if they do shock a lot of people, and you want the New York media market on there, you want Lamar Jackson against Daniel Jones, you want that game, CBS doesn't even have to protect that one. ABC and ESPN can't flex that in because the Ravens play Saturday, Week 16, and then play on Wednesday on Christmas Day, Week 17. Again, the four teams playing on Christmas this year are the Chiefs, the Texans, the Steelers, and the Ravens. So you can't even do that. So CBS not only gets Bills-Lions to protect, they get to protect Chiefs-Browns for the reason of Saturday, Wednesday player safety. They also get to protect Dolphins-Texans because Monday, Saturday, Wednesday, same thing, player safety. And they get to protect Ravens-Giants for the same exact reason, Monday, Saturday, Wednesday, player safety. CBS gets to protect, essentially, their entire schedule in Week 15. So if there's a good game on CBS, in all likelihood, ABC and ESPN can't do anything about it, can't flex it in, because they wouldn't do it for player safety reasons. There are only two games that CBS has that are not protected that week by virtue of the schedule. Those are Patriots, Cardinals, and Colts, Broncos. Whoop-de-doo, I'm sure ESPN is lining out the door to get those games. Four teams that missed the playoffs the year before. None of the four projected by Vegas to make the playoffs or even finish above 500. Colts were at 8.5 wins, Cards at 6.5, Broncos at 5.5, and the Patriots at 4.5. Really not projected to do well this year, to the surprise of absolutely no one. And again, stuff can change, but both those teams would have to shock. Patriots, Cardinals, Colts, Broncos, some of those teams, both of them would have to shock for them to flex out Bears, Vikings, or Falcons, Raiders and make it a worthwhile flex. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth it in the slightest bit. So CBS gets to protect their entire schedule because the schedule makers, for whatever reason, didn't stop to think to themselves, Chiefs, Browns are a good game, Dolphins, Texans are a good game. Let's put one of them on Fox. Let's have one of them on CBS and one of them on Fox. Ravens, Giants, same thing. We could put that game on Fox and leave CBS with Chiefs, Browns, and Dolphins, Texans. Throw them a bone because they're not getting a doubleheader week 1. So we'll give them a doubleheader in week 15, and we'll give them a bone that way. But we still want to have a good matchup on Monday Night Football. So one of those games will be on Fox. But nope, all three games are protected along with the protection they get with Bills-Lions. So they're completely screwed. CBS is completely and utterly screwed. Now, I guess you could say, well, they might have to protect one of those games for Sunday Night Football. The Sunday night game, though, Packers-Seahawks, unless the Seahawks are terrible and NBC shows signs of wanting to flex that game out because the Seahawks are not good this year, or the Packers regress and Jordan Love undergoes a sophomore slump. I know it's not his sophomore season technically, but it is his second year as the starter. Unless that happens, then maybe you could see CBS protecting a game and then one of those games getting flexed into Sunday Night Football as a result, because that could happen. That's not really a player safety issue, playing on Sunday night and then playing Saturday. But in terms of Monday Night Football, which is the point of this, Falcons, Raiders, Bears, Vikings, no matter how bad those teams are, they might be stuck. They might be stuck with those because the NFL didn't stop to look at their schedule for more than 5 seconds and realize there's something wrong from a TV perspective, and it's just terrible what they did with the schedule this year. But what are your thoughts about the Week 15 schedule? What are your thoughts about the Falcons, Raiders, Bears, Vikings games on Monday Night Football? Do you like the Monday Night doubleheader? Who do you think wins both of those games? How do you think all 4 of those teams do? Do you think one of those games could get flexed? And if so, for which one? Do you think the NFL schedule makers got it right with this? Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because I think they botched this royally with Week 15 and CBS and all the games they get to protect. Even though they're only allowed 1, they essentially get 3 others by default. But that's going to do it for this episode of JJ9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, Jaguar Gear 9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is Jaguar Gear 9 signing off, and as always, go Jags.